It's been good. It's been a long time in the making. I've spent almost a year and a half making this album and trying to get it out, and there was a lot of industry problems in the process of releasing the album, and it's been a real sort of test of my faith in the music, because I think everything that could go wrong did go wrong during the making of the album, but it's finally out now, and
and you're happy with
I'm
the
very pleased with it. Yeah, it kind of represents all the different kind of things I've explored over the years. So it's more about not the approach to making the music, more like the sounds that I was using in the other stuff that I was doing for Blueprint Records. It was more synthetic and more electronic sounds, and the stuff I did on Listen to the Voice Inside was a lot more organic and more influenced by jazz and tribal music and stuff. And so the attempt with the Soft Machine was trying to get something that was sort of synthetic but organic at the same time, sort of hence the name, the Soft Machine. I think any artist would enjoy having, more creative freedom, and ultimately it's what every artist wants, is their own label, because you don't have to answer to anyone, and you don't have to try and cater or kind of change your music in any way, to someone else's vision of what it should be. So in that way, you're very free to kind of pursue quite impulsive ideas. Meta was the first label I set up, and then I wanted to do something that was like a sort of a connection between the dance floor and ambient music or experimental music. So the idea between Light and Dark was to do club music and very, very abstract ambient music, and try and kind of link the two and show that there is a relationship between the two, and try and force people that would only listen to one kind of music or one kind of club music to experience something different, maybe that they wouldn't otherwise kind of want to listen to. And then Exist was taking that idea right to the most extreme, I guess the most left field place, which would be complete absence of club music and just purely experimental listening music. Well, the first Exist release was a compilation of kind of alternative tracks made by established techno producers, and that was a way of showing how everyone had like a different side to themselves, and how they could try and sort of balance out what was going on. And for the launch party for that, we held it in a cinema, and we projected up sort of various videos and films and tried to get people to sort of interpret the music in a visual way. And I did a live performance, like a live soundtrack to a film. So I guess it's that kind of stuff, trying to bring those two things together and try and sort of blur the lines between techno and ambient music and film, and just trying to get people to see, not be so blinkered in the way they look at things. And they're just words, I guess project is more descriptive, or it's more meaningful, because it kind of it seems to suggest something that has a bit more intention behind it, rather than a label is maybe just a sort of business idea. I listen to everything, the music I was listening to a lot when I was a teenager was kind of really, really heavy punk music, and I used to be in a band, played guitar in a band, and I was into jazz music as well, and I still listen to all types of music. For me, techno or electronic music is kind of one slice of something that's a lot bigger, and I think if you listen to other types of music, then you can bring those influences into the music you make. I think there's nothing worse than hearing someone who makes a certain type of music and that's all they listen to, and that's all, it's kind of like you can't really go anywhere unless you're going to take something fresh from somewhere else. Predominantly Europe is the main kind of circuit for techno DJs, and it's been interesting for me to go to Japan a lot this year, and America, and come to Australia again. So in that sense, it's, you learn a lot about how the music travels, and the way that scenes can be different in other countries, and it's interesting. It gives you much more of a wider sort of reflection on how people are kind of reacting to the music. the dance music industry is definitely having to kind of examine itself and see where it wants to go, and it's like that in Europe as well. I think there was the kind of honeymoon period in the late 90s where everything was successful, and now you have to be a lot more self-conscious and maybe slightly less kind of gung-ho, or not gung-ho, but just a bit more considered about what you're doing and stuff. Well, hopefully it's always going to be something that's evolving, and it's always there. It has its die-hard fans, so it's not something that tends to get affected by trends so much as other forms of music. So hopefully, it's something that kind of stays there and will always have its kind of core audience. I mean, the people that are in the techno scene seem to be a lot more involved with other things like multimedia stuff, and the way Jeff Mills does soundtracks to movies, and especially the way that some of the more abstract techno is linked in with kind of electronica and stuff, and that kind of links in with more kind of art-funded, art-based projects and stuff. So in that sense, there's definitely a kind of more progressive edge to techno. Yeah.